Picture yourself standing in a dusty garage, hands covered in grease, the smell of old metal and oil filling your nostrils. There's a 1967 Mustang in front of you, rusty and forgotten. Most people would see junk, but you see potential. You see beauty waiting to be rediscovered. This moment right here tells us everything about a fascinating type of human mind. The people who restore classic cars aren't just fixing machines. They're engaging in something far deeper, something that reveals profound truths about human psychology and what makes us tick. Every bolt they turn, every panel they polish, every engine they rebuild, speaks volumes about who they are as individuals. Let's start with something most people don't realize. Classic car restoration attracts a very specific personality type. These aren't people who give up easily. Research in personality psychology shows that restorers typically score incredibly high on a trait called conscientiousness. They're meticulous, detail-oriented, and persistent to an almost stubborn degree. When everyone else walks away from a challenge, they lean in closer. Think about what restoration actually demands. You might spend 6 months just sourcing the correct carburetor for a vintage vehicle, another year fabricating a single body panel that no longer exists anywhere in the world. This isn't a hobby for the impatient. It requires a psychological makeup that finds satisfaction in gradual progress rather than instant gratification. In our world of same-day delivery and streaming entertainment, these individuals stand apart. There's also something deeply therapeutic happening in those garages. Psychologists have studied the mental health benefits of hands-on work, and the findings are remarkable. When you're rebuilding an engine, your mind enters a state remarkably similar to meditation. All the worries about work deadlines, family stress, or global problems fade away. There's only the present moment, the problem in front of you, and your hands working toward a solution. This phenomenon has a name in psychology: flow state. The Hungarian psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent decades studying it. He found that people report their highest levels of happiness not during leisure, but during challenging activities that fully absorb their attention. Classic car restoration provides this in abundance. The challenges are real, the skills required are substantial, but they're achievable with dedication and learning. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Many restorers report that working on their cars helps them process difficult emotions and life transitions. Someone who recently lost a parent might restore the same model their father drove. A person navigating a career change finds clarity while rebuilding a transmission. The car becomes more than metal and rubber. It becomes a companion through psychological transformation. There's a concept in psychology called object relations theory. It suggests that we form emotional attachments to objects in ways that help us work through relationships and identity issues. A classic car becomes a safe place to invest emotion, to practice patience, to experience success after repeated failures. Unlike human relationships, a car won't judge you for making mistakes. It simply waits for you to figure things out. The nostalgia factor cannot be ignored either. Nostalgia serves important psychological functions. It connects us to our past, reinforces our sense of identity, and provides comfort during uncertain times. When someone restores a 1970s Camaro, they're not just preserving a vehicle, they're preserving a piece of cultural memory, a time that feels simpler or more authentic in retrospect. Studies on nostalgia show it actually improves mood and increases feelings of social connectedness. Restorers often speak about the era their chosen car represents with genuine warmth. They remember when cars were built to last, when you could work on them without computer diagnostics, when design prioritized style over efficiency. Whether these memories are entirely accurate doesn't matter. What matters is the psychological comfort they provide. Let's talk about control for a moment. Modern life often feels chaotic and unpredictable. Economic uncertainty, political turbulence, technological changes that outpace our ability to adapt. Where do you find stability in such a world? For many restorers, the answer sits on 4 wheels in their garage. A restoration project offers complete control. You decide every detail, original specifications or custom modifications, factory colors or personal preferences. Every decision is yours. This sense of autonomy and agency provides powerful psychological benefits. Research consistently shows that perceived control over our environment significantly impacts mental health and life satisfaction. When you complete a restoration, You've created something with your own hands. In an economy dominated by service jobs and digital work, this tangible accomplishment carries enormous psychological weight. You can point to that car and say, without question, that you made that happen. It existed as rust and ruin. Now it gleams and purrs. That transformation came from you. The social psychology dimension is equally compelling. Classic car communities are tight-knit groups bound by shared passion and specialized knowledge. These communities provide belonging and social identity in ways that modern society often fails to deliver. When you're part of the restoration world, you're part of something larger than yourself. Anthropologists who study hobbyist communities note that these groups often develop their own cultures, languages, and hierarchies. There's a vocabulary only insiders understand. Knowledge gets passed down from experienced restorers to newcomers. Status comes not from wealth or job titles, but from skill, knowledge, and dedication to craft. Consider also the element of legacy and immortality. Humans are uniquely aware of our own mortality, and this awareness drives much of our behavior. We want to leave something behind, to matter, to be remembered. Classic car restoration offers a path toward this goal that feels achievable. When you restore a vehicle that's 40, 50, or 60 years old, you're ensuring it survives another generation. Perhaps your children or grandchildren will drive it. Perhaps it will end up in a museum. The car becomes your legacy, a physical manifestation of your dedication and skill that outlasts your biological life. Psychologists call this generativity, the desire to contribute to future generations. It's considered a crucial aspect of healthy adult development. Restoration provides a concrete way to fulfill this psychological need. There's also something quietly rebellious about choosing restoration over buying new. Consumer culture constantly pushes us toward the latest model, the newest technology, the upgraded version. Restorers reject this entirely. They find value in what others discard. They see potential where marketing departments see obsolescence. This countercultural stance reflects deeper values about sustainability, craftsmanship, and resistance to disposable culture. Psychologically, it allows individuals to express personal values through action, reinforcing identity and self-concept in powerful ways. The learning process itself deserves attention. Restoration demands knowledge across multiple domains: mechanical engineering, electrical systems, metalwork, painting, upholstery, and more. This continuous learning keeps minds active and engaged. Cognitive psychologists emphasize that lifelong learning promotes brain health and delays cognitive decline. But beyond health benefits, there's deep satisfaction in mastery. When you finally understand how a system works, when you develop the skill to execute a difficult technique, you experience genuine pride. This isn't the hollow achievement of leveling up in a video game. It's real competence in the physical world, knowledge with practical application. Many restorers describe their relationship with their projects in almost spiritual terms. They talk about listening to what the car needs, respecting its history, and bringing it back to life. This language reveals something profound about human psychology and our need for meaning. In a secular age where traditional sources of meaning have weakened for many people, restoration provides purpose and transcendence. The project becomes a calling, something worth dedicating years of effort toward. This sense of purpose correlates strongly with psychological well-being and life satisfaction. Standing back and seeing a completed restoration must feel incredible. All those hours, all that problem solving, all those moments of frustration transformed into something beautiful and functional. Psychology research shows that the difficulty of the journey actually increases the satisfaction of success. Easy victories feel hollow. Hard-won accomplishments resonate deeply. But here's the curious thing. Many restorers admit that once a project finishes, they feel a strange emptiness. The journey provided daily purpose and engagement. Completion brings pride, but also loss. This explains why dedicated restorers rarely stop at one car. They're not chasing the finished product so much as the process itself. The people who restore classic cars are teaching us something valuable about human psychology. They show us that satisfaction comes from meaningful challenge, that connection to the past enriches the present, and that working with our hands feeds something essential in our souls. They remind us that patience and persistence still matter in a world obsessed with speed. Next time you see a beautifully restored classic car, remember, it represents thousands of hours of human dedication. Someone poured their psychology into that machine, finding therapy, purpose, community, and meaning in metal and mechanics. That's not just a car. That's a human story about what makes life worth living. Subscribe for more stories that reveal the hidden psychology behind everyday passions.